South African post office workers, in fact, have made their way to the Communication Minister's office in Pretoria to try hand over a memorandum of demands. The demands include the halting of some post office closures, as this will obviously lead to job losses. Our Tshegohaco Moagi is watching the story for us and joins us there now live. Tshegohaco, give us a sense of what is contained in this memorandum. That's if you've been able to catch sight of it.
Well, good afternoon, Ayanda. So the main issue, of course, as you've mentioned, is the closing of some of these post office. We understand that the Johannesburg International Mail Center is currently being closed. This, of course, will lead to retrenchments and job losses. They're also calling for a payback of salaries and bonuses of some of these workers from the South African Post Office. They have finally arrived at the Communications Minister's office here in Pretoria, but to give us more details about what they are calling for and what will then happen should their answers, their demands not be met, I'm joined by Tshegohaco Moagi. He's a provincial secretary here for CWU. Tshegohaco, thank you so much for your time. Let us just start off with the demands that have been made within this memorandum today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. First of all, the demand is that they must halt the closing of JIMC. JIMC is Johannesburg International Mail Center, whereby all the center of post office, everything is happening from there. And why we are raising this, all the competitors, your DHL, your other postal and courier companies, they've got their core next to the airport. Why now suddenly people in the post office want to close that? We are not going to allow it. It needs to stop. Secondly, for the past at least 8 years, workers have not been receiving increase. They've been struggling, they've been sacrificing, they are washing their cars, they are fixing their bicycles and so on. And we want to remove this perception from the public that post office is not lucrative. Post office is lucrative. However, the business that post office is doing is taken out and being given to the other companies. I'll make a typical example. Currently, Pick n Pay will start issuing the renewal of car licenses. And that has been the issue that we've been raising, that why all the businesses, government is failing to give opportunity or business to post office. Instead, they are using postal and courier services that are private. So we are saying, first of all, they must make sure that they hold all the process. And there's a threat that at least 6,000 workers, they are going to lose their jobs. So as workers, members of the public, ANC Youth League, we are here to say that to the Deputy Minister who will be receiving our memorandum as a collective, to say that, Minister, everything needs to stop. This thing we've been warning the government that what you are doing privatization is not working. Check what has been happening in Telkom. Hence, the President last week said that Telkom must be investigated. So we like to say we want to push and say that now it's time for post office to also pull what they are doing and continue. Thank you.
So what then is the plan, Tshegohaco, should there be a problem and that you don't get an answer to the demands that you are making? How many days are you giving the Department of Communications, and what then will you do after that?
We are giving the department 5 days, and from there we are intensifying our program. We want to check, first of all, who is deploying everyone that is in this building. Is the ANC? If we have to go to the house, if we have to go to the president. And what we know is that the public is tired. We see what is happening with the voting. We see what is happening, how the ANC is losing the municipalities, the drop in the national seats and so on. So we are saying, ANC, this is a warning. Take us serious and make sure that we protect our SOEs.
Thank you so much. That is the voice of Tshegohaco Moagi, of course, from the South African Communication Workers Union, representing South African Post Office workers. And those are just some of their demands. And of course, as you heard there, Ayanda, about 6,000 people could lose their jobs if the JIMC is closed and if the retrenchments continue within the post office service.